Hey, folks, and welcome. We have a special because, as you can
went
see,
the wrong way.
Seth is with us.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah, that's right. This is a Team NIO video. I enjoy doing Team NIO videos where we find someone who's done a video on NIO and we just watch it.
Just watch it.
And Seth was kind enough
So kind.
to sit in on this one. So let's see. Now, here's what we got. The background on this is through the week. I heard that this Warren something or other has, and I think he's a big Tesla guy. It came out and did a video and talked about, I think, kind of disparagingly, maybe negatively about NIO. And then I even heard that Eric from Crossing China, who owned a NIO, actually did a video talking about it. And so rather than watch Warren's video, we wanted to support Eric because Eric's part of the NIO community.
Why not?
And so here we are to watch Eric's take
of him. No, of watching Warren's video.
We're gonna watch him watching the video.
It's a lot of videos.
We're just going with it.
No. Let's get into it.
And we're gonna do switch these screens up.
Yeah, go to everyone. Boom.
All right.
Let's play it.
Let's see what Eric's got to say.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Eric. And
What's up, Eric?
Today I just got sent this video from a friend. They asked me, they said, what do you think about this video from a guy called Warren Redlick? I've never heard of him. He's got a pretty decent sized following on YouTube, and he made a video about NIO battery swap. So I just watched it, and I have a quick reaction is that I want to make a little response to it, because my perspective is that he's a little bit misinformed at the very least, or willfully misrepresenting information. What we're going to do is watch the video. I'm not going to watch the whole thing with you. You can watch it if you want. I'm just going to go through a couple points that I think he's wrong. If you don't know, I lived in China for a very long time. I owned a NIO. It was an EC6, and I really liked the car. I really liked NIO service, and I really liked battery swap. And I sold my NIO because I left China. But I'm still following NIO and electric cars, and here we go. Let's watch this and see what we can correct here.
It's an idea. It's not a stupid idea, but fundamentally it doesn't really work.
Okay, first of all, he says battery swap fundamentally doesn't really work. NIO's done millions and millions and millions of battery swaps in China. It worked flawlessly every time I got a battery swapped in China, so I don't really even buy his premise here. I haven't watched his original video about why.
For real.
But let's keep going.
Let's go. One of the pitches that NIO made for its battery swap station, and one of the pitches that NIO fans make for the battery swap station is it only takes up the space that 2 superchargers take up.
I've never once seen that claim by anybody.
I've never heard that either. We've never said that.
Claim. I think he's misread somewhere or seen people that don't understand battery swap. But it takes about 3 to 4 parking spaces, which would be the equivalent of 3 to 4 supercharging spaces.
And then you have the area in the front. You have the area where you see the little arrow lines or the little lines. You're going to see him using that. So that's another 3 or 4 parking spaces.
And then he says it takes up 3 to 4 parking spaces in front of the power swap station, which the car is not just going to warp there or teleport there. Just like in a supercharger station, there's a road in front of your parking space.
What, he's blaming the road?
Pull forward and then back in. This, I don't know, if this counts against NIO, it obviously should also count against Tesla. So 8 supercharger spaces would also take 16 parking space equivalents, right? Because you have to
That's
have
ridiculous.
in front of the car. So
That's
already
funny.
he's, I don't know.
What you're seeing is a NIO battery swap system takes up at least 4 supercharger spaces and maybe 8. So in the same space that you have, the point is in the same space that you have this NIO battery swap station, you could basically have 8 superchargers.
So the only way that makes sense, in my opinion, is if all the Tesla superchargers are pull-through chargers, pull-through stations, not back in, not standard parking spaces. And in all the time I've driven in America and charged a Tesla, I've never seen one like that. So again, I don't know where he's coming from. I guess theoretically you could put.
Sorry, I just want to mention Eric actually, his mom has a Tesla, for those who don't know. And so it was kind of interesting seeing the service when she first got the Tesla, and then sort of the recap. He did a video the other day that I commented on, where he did sort of an update with her on her Tesla. So he also obviously has experience with Tesla,
Right,
as well.
which is a good thing to point out, because
It's good to,
kind of important to play both sides a little bit.
And
If
I'm
you're
not-
not listening to him.
I don't know if Warren
has any NIO experience. Probably not.
8 superchargers in the same space that the supercharger and the space in front of the supercharger takes up, if you line them up all perfectly and it's all pull through. But I've never seen that. So
comparing it to 2 superchargers is misleading.
So speaking of misleading,
one of the challenges that NIO faces is their current battery swap station requires a human operator.
Okay, not true. In China, there's already a lot
Okay,
of
not
battery swap
true.
stations that are fully automated. I've experienced them myself. They're not all fully automated, of course. There are still people working at a lot of the battery swap stations.
Creating a job.
The fully automated ones were a pilot program, and since out of China, I don't know if they're still in operation. But of course, yes, the goal is to be fully automated. And as of 3 or 4 months ago, when I was still in China, there were quite a few in Shenzhen that were already fully automated.
But this idea that it's a more efficient method than superchargers, if you've got to have a full-time employee working, was he working 24/7? Do you have to have somebody? Because superchargers work 24/7.
Yes, if it's open 24/7 and it is a fully staffed station, it will have staff 24/7.
One guy's not going to
In
work
China, usually they
24/7.
sleep
It's called
there.
shifts.
There's a space for them to sleep if it is a 24/7 station, which again, most of them are. And that does suck. I agree with him there. That sucks to have people there at a charging infrastructure 24/7.
Overnight, yeah.
But
Right.
again, as they continually
It is a job. It's the same thing as keeping anyone else anywhere else for 24/7. What? Same thing.
But I do agree with him there. I give him that.
You're just beginning to see the complexity in NIO's battery swap system, the swap station system. You have to do a lot of stuff. And when you go to a Tesla supercharger,
Okay, so this is, again, just a really basic, fundamental misunderstanding of how this works. Just like in a Tesla, if you want to
You can
precondition
just
your battery
charge your car.
before you drive to a Tesla supercharger station, like you're gonna go into your car's operating system, you're gonna type in where you wanna go, right? I wanna go to the supercharger. And then I push navigate, and then my car will precondition on its way there, right? So I don't know what Bjorn is doing in his original video, but in a NIO, like if I want to go swap my battery, I put in the navigation to the battery swap station, I push the button, and it automatically puts me in a queue to charge my battery, swap my battery when I get there. I don't have to do anything more than I would in a Tesla. Just like in a Tesla, I just navigate to the place, and it automatically puts you into the queue. When you arrive there, if there's nobody in line, it automatically says it's your turn. You don't have to do literally anything. You do nothing. You just pull it in.
That's
you pull it from the
complex.
station, you back in. The car backs in automatically. The
Car even
drives
does it
itself.
for you if you want it.
It's less than a Tesla. So really, really fundamental misunderstanding. And it could be because of Bjorn's video. But if this guy wants to make content about this, he probably should try to understand more about how it actually works.
NIO's battery swap, there's a lot of stuff you have.
I think he's referencing Bjorn Highland, I think is his name.
Yeah.
And yeah, he did a NIO video. So maybe Warren watched a video and then became an expert. I'm not sure.
Probably.
Maybe.
Seems that's what he's doing right now.
I wonder if he's an armchair quarterback too.
Armchair corner.
He's probably never lost.
Have to
Probably
do in the
not.
car to make it work. And this is not as good of a user experience
Like
as
what?
pulling up to a supercharger, plug it in, and
He
walking
doesn't
away.
say what you
Again,
have to do. He just
wrong.
says you have to do a lot. Like, what do you have
You
to
don't have to
do?
do anything in the car to make it work. It just works. It works.
At least give it.
I would argue
It's such a
just as good as
bland,
Tesla, if not better.
broad argument.
Like he's saying, you can do it on your phone on a Tesla. With your NIO, the app, I do have a video comparing the two apps. The NIO app is, I would argue, better. I've used them both quite extensively. You can do more. On my phone, I can see how many people are waiting in line to charge or swap their battery. I can see when is the peak hours for battery swapping. I can see all
That's
the
crazy.
different swaps in the area. There's tons of information. I can just, on my phone, I can just click literally in the app, navigate to wherever I want to go, which is something that Tesla can't even do in their app. You have to go into Google Maps or whatever and then send to the app. It's way more convoluted.
Wow.
So again, this is just a little bit
Wrong.
misunderstanding, misleading misunderstanding, just fundamental. He doesn't really know how it works and he's commenting on it.
With NIO, they have to have extra batteries that can't go into vehicles because they've got to stay in the battery swap station. So
But you're
Okay, so I
swapping
don't
them.
really
So you get
know
one, you
or
get one.
necessarily care about how many extra batteries there are. I've seen some people try to do the math with how many stations there are and how many cars have been sold. There's something like 5% more batteries made or produced than cars that have been sold. To me, that as a customer, that doesn't really matter. I'd rather there be more batteries available for me
Yeah,
always
I
when
mean,
I want one. But as a business, then that's something I'm not really covering on this video. I don't know how NIO necessarily justifies it from an expense or capital expenditure point of view. Not really my business. I'm looking at this video as a customer.
Are you starting to see the complexity of this?
They do have NIO does have partners in the battery asset company. So maybe Warren isn't aware of that. Armchair quarterback
System. You got to hit this button on the screen. You got to check off this box on the screen. You got to hit this. Then you got to tell it. Then you got to wait. And then it tells you something else. And we're only halfway through the software part of it.
Again, I don't understand.
He's just going to say it for me.
You literally
have to do the same thing.
Push one button.
Either one.
In Norway, apparently it's a few more buttons, but you push one button in China, and then you navigate to the place, you drive in front of the swap station, and the car parks itself. Now, I've seen a lot of people struggle with backing in their cars and Tesla superchargers or engineer charging stations in China. So I would really argue that having the car do it for you, back you into the station, that's easier. But again, that's just my opinion.
Warren?
I could tell that Seth is like ready to go off.
I'm just like confused on what he's arguing. He's just arguing things that are the same on literally both sides. And then when he is throwing out arguments, they're super just kind of broad and basic. Like, you got to click this, you got to click, like, what do you mean? You're just saying that. Like, you're not showing any actual physical proof of anyone doing
It's
Eric's handling it.
Yeah, Eric is. He's funny. I like his responses.
Yeah, well, he just looks at the camera. He's like he knows what everyone's thinking. Like when they're watching it.
All right, this ought to be fun.
And more that you have to do. You have to shift into reverse. You have to shift into drive. You have to do all these things.
Okay, you don't have to shift into drive and shift into reverse. Again, you pull into the space.
Why is he acting like shifting into drive and reverse is a big deal anyways? You do it every day.
You push the button.
You do it to drive.
That says back in or whatever. So I guess that is the second button, and it backs in for you. I don't know why it's so complicated here for him. I think the point here is he was in park, and obviously you can't be in park. You have to be in a drive mode.
Proponents of the NIO swap system will try to minimize the amount of time that it takes and the amount of hassle that it takes.
Okay, there's literally no hassle. It's all automated. You automatically put in the queue, automatically park, it automatically swaps your battery. I don't know how that's
all you do is drive and sit.
The amount of hassle is just how much hassle there is. There's no hassle. It's super easy. It's kind of mind-boggling to me. It's trying to make it seem like there's a hassle involved.
It's
a lot more hassle. Again, it's not a hassle for me.
There you go.
Why is he, when he said you gotta put it in drive, gotta put it in reverse, you have to do that to get anywhere? You mean what? You have to actually operate the vehicle you're in? What do you mean? How is that? When he wakes up in the morning, he's going to work, he's like, oh, so much work. I gotta put my car in reverse to get out of the garage. What does he do then? Does he just walk? He's I'll walk and it'll be less work.
I don't know.
That's crazy that he actually said that.
It's really nice though to hear Eric's explanation of, and he's just
because he actually he literally
so
knows.
Convenient, yeah.
I mean, you could argue what the dude is saying without actually have physically driving in a NIO anyways. The fact that he's just done it is just more validation of the fact.
Exactly.
That,
Well, and we've talked, I have mentioned repeatedly that NIO focusing on the user and really providing great services, the convenience is coming through. That's what I'm seeing from Eric. Yeah. And having not been in a NIO and not being able to see it and experience that, it's really nice to have him sort of explain. It's crazy easy. It's really convenient.
Well, yeah. And even if you're not necessarily a NIO, an investor or whatever, you could, I would hope you'd be able to watch that video and just be like, all right, it's not an argument for anything.
I have a feeling the comment section on that video would be really funny.
There are probably people that are just thinking the same way as him, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
They're probably
I'm capable of getting out of my car and plugging in a charger in a Tesla. But that would be more hassle to me.
Yeah, you actually have to get out of the car.
I have to make sure
that's a hassle.
It's a lot of work
for him. I'm sure it is.
I have to get out. I have to open the flap. I have to put
Eric.
Then I have to make sure it's charging, and then I have to go walk and go pee.
There it is. That was it.
It's a ridiculous video.
in making things for consumers is you want to make it as simple as possible, and this does not seem simple to me.
It does not seem simple to him, but there's literally like millions upon millions upon millions of battery swaps that have happened in China. I know a lot of NIO owners. I've swapped my battery a lot of times. I've never heard anybody complain about it being difficult or complex in any way. Like,
I think
He's just laughing at him.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what to
if you watch my
say. You're
videos
almost
at
like
all,
lost
you see
for words.
If you talk
It's
to,
like,
you've seen my interviews with other NIO
you
owners
argue
or
with
things I've done like just with other NIO owners, not making content for YouTube, but like talking to NIO owners. We all love battery swap. It's the best. We're so happy and lucky we have battery swap as opposed to having to go and charge our cars. You know, in China, a lot of people, they can't charge at home necessarily. They live in an apartment. They live in a really dense community. There's lots of EVs in China. So going and charging your car and, you know, waiting in line maybe, and then having to charge for 20 or 30 minutes, that's a lot more of a hassle than literally pushing 2 buttons and having the car do everything. So I see one way being more simple. You know, if you can charge at home, you know, you can charge every night. That's obviously more simple. But public charging,
not everyone has that luxury.
From my experience, battery swapping is much more simple.
Well, and we talked on the live stream earlier. This is still Friday as we record this.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll drop this on Saturday morning. But my buddy Nick is a NIO owner in Chengdu. And when they were having issues with the grid in his city, he went and he had a charger at home. He would charge his NIO battery at home and then take it over and reverse swap so that another NIO user could get a fresh battery.
Give them the fully charged one.
Exactly.
And take like a half one.
Yeah. And then
And then go home and charge that.
gives him points that he can use to buy things off of the NIO app.
It's like the McDonald's app, guys. get points. Sweet.
So again, this is something that I'm sure Warren isn't aware of and might think is very complex or confusing, but it's actually even more convenience, and it allows for more people to have access in the community aspect. And again, the user experience, it's so cool to see, you know, NIO users who are willing to help and network and connect with others. And sort of it's the opposite of what this guy's trying to do, is run things down. It's like, no, it's actually great and really helpful. And
yeah,
we can all be friends, people.
We can all, I don't know if I could be friends with Wayne or whatever.
Warren. It's Warren.
Warren.
It's Warren. He's super serious. Armchair quarterback. He's never lost.
No.
Get out of the car, walk away, and the car charges itself. Now you have to stay in the car. You have to keep an eye on the car. You don't get to leave the car.
He says, why can't you get out of the car? Why is it so complicated? So once you're in the battery swap station, you can get out of the car. That's perfectly okay. The reason why you
literally
push the
can
button to start the battery swap is probably just to confirm you're ready. Like if you do want to get out of the car, you probably should do it before the ground literally moves beneath the car and they start moving batteries around and machinery is happening. I would imagine that probably for liability reasons, maybe in Norway, or maybe when it comes to America eventually, if it does, they might not want you out of the car while it's like moving parts. In China, there's no problem. You can get out of the car, push the button, and then things start happening. You know, just confirms you're ready, which I think makes sense. You don't want like a hole opening up underneath you and then try to get out of the car.
Yeah,
so, if you want to get out of the car, no problem in China. Anyway, I don't know about Norway, so I'm not going to comment on it.
So you can see by Bjorn's count, it was just over 6 minutes. And let's be charitable and say they're going to improve their system and they're going to get it down to 5 minutes.
Bjorn just swapped his battery in 6 minutes and 6 seconds, which is about how long it takes in China as well. You can watch my tiny videos, both Gen 1 and Gen 2 battery swap stations on my channel. However, this guy's funny again. He said, oh, I can back my car into the Tesla station in 10 or 15 seconds. Bjorn is starting his timer from when he's backing it in, and it takes a whole minute. But overall, it still only takes Bjorn 6 minutes and 6 seconds to swap the battery. And that can be from 0% or 1% or 5% all the way up to 93%, which is what they charge the batteries to in China. He's like, oh, maybe they can get it shorter and quicker, from 6 minutes down to 5. Yeah, maybe they can, but from pulling up to a Tesla supercharger and then starting to back in and then getting out and plugging your car in, that's also at least probably 30 seconds. In the next 5.5 minutes, are you going to be able to get your car from 5% to 90%? I don't think so. Maybe 5% to 50%. Like he's acting like 5 minutes is a big deal. I don't know. I don't get it.
The biggest challenge
Neither does
for
Warren.
NIO's swap system is and it's too expensive.
Okay, he says it's too expensive. I don't know the price. I've seen arguments, and people online say the swap stations in China, each one costs about $250,000. I personally don't know, so I don't really have much to comment on that.
But supercharged.
Warren probably didn't mention partnership. I mentioned it previously in this video. The partnership is CATL, NIO, and then there are two others involved. There have been others who have expressed interest in getting involved, which seems to indicate that it's a pretty viable business model,
maybe working,
especially over the long term.
Yeah.
So but we can defer to Warren if that'll make him feel
Warren
better.
needs to wear some glasses or get some sleep or something. He got some bags.
8 superchargers can easily charge 16 vehicles. It's average 20 minutes.
Okay, he says 8 superchargers can charge 16 Teslas in an hour. I would argue that that's not going to be to 90% or 93%, which is what NIO does. But I'd also argue that 8 superchargers takes up twice as much space as one swap station. One swap station can do 12 or 13 cars.
I was going to say one swap station
can do just fully charged to 90+%.
And 9%.
So if you take up the exact same amount of space as one NIO swap station, that would be, let's say, four superchargers. That's going to be, according to his math, 8 cars fully charged up in 1 hour. So again, I would say they're not.
Is that more efficient?
But that's fewer than NIO can do. So he's not comparing apples to apples. He's making like a weird comparison. But again, he does think the space in front of the swap station counts as a NIO. It doesn't count against Tesla. So.
That's correct.
Imagine when they get loaded with a lot of cars. And now you got to wait 6 minutes for every car plus a little bit.
Okay, he says, imagine when they get loaded with a lot of cars. A couple more misunderstandings.
Just laughing.
So if there's a lot of cars, there's a line. What you do with your NIO, at least again in China, is you can just park it in a parking spot and you're in line. You don't have to wait there. I've driven my NIO in China where I haven't had a swap station available and I had to line up to charge my car. I've been here in America just recently. Me and my mom were driving her Tesla, and not only was there a line at one of the Tesla superchargers, there was a line on each side, right? There was one car from that way, one car from that way. There's no organization on how this is going to work when there are a lot of cars lined up and wanting to charge. That adds a lot of complexity and problems for Tesla customers that isn't even addressed at all. Some places there's only one way in, one way out. Maybe everybody knows where to line up. So that'll be fixed. That'll be just naturally.
What do you got?
Well, I was just going to say, at least kind of the point he made, just at least NIO is has a fix, or like he said, addresses the problem. They have a place where you can wait and get out and go do whatever.
Yeah.
I guess Tesla does too, but at the same time, it's just not saying anyone's better than the other.
Well, I wonder if he's going to talk about, I don't know
both ways.
I don't know if Eric used the button where you can push and have NIO actually come get your vehicle and go charge it or swap it or whatever and then bring it back. Nick has used that service and told me about it, and he was just like, it's crazy.
He didn't have to leave his house.
Yeah.
How much work is that?
They'll just come to you. Again, the service is just at a different level. But
a problem that is solved naturally, right? But so with NIO, if there's a long line, I'm automatically placed in the queue when I'm near the station. I can just park my car. If you're one of the people that says, swapping, you can't go out and use the bathroom or blah, 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 can't get food. Okay, well, if there's a queue, if I'm third in line, if I want, I can just park my car, leave, go to the bathroom, go get some food. When it's my turn, NIO does it where you can opt into a phone call, you can get a notification on your phone with the app. Basically what I'm saying is it's easier, it's more streamlined. You don't have to worry about if the station's
gonna lose your spot.
They're focused on the user
because they have a queue. Tesla doesn't have a queue. Is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Pretty much anyone can just. So if you leave your car, you probably get your spot stolen.
Whereas with Tesla, if there's a line, you gotta sit in line because the car doesn't make a queue for you. When you're gonna go to the next.
And people aren't gonna wait for you to get back to your Tesla because you were there first. I'll tell you that much.
As Tesla gets more cars on the road and not enough infrastructure, there's gonna be longer lines and more people.
Good point too. Yeah.
We've already seen it out here on the West Coast. Okay, so if there's 3 cars in line, says you gotta wait 20 minutes before it's your turn. Even then, after you swap your car, that's 25 minutes. I still went from maybe 5% or 3% battery to 93% battery in 25 minutes, which is still faster than you're gonna get in most Teslas. From my experience. You're not gonna get up to 90% in 25 minutes. again, I don't quite get the complaint because it's still faster. Of course, battery technology will improve, speeds will improve.
Saying they're only getting better.
Based on where we are now,
right? Like this is ground level. Like Tesla's been doing this.
Convenient for the consumer and easier for the consumer.
Yeah.
And it's not Tesla.
There's usually an empty slot.
Well, again, and that's the difference is I understand dude really loves his Tesla and there's nothing wrong with, being big on your company.
Sure.
And some of my favorite investors in NIO are also investors in Tesla. And so it's not one of these things where, for me, this is more of, as I see more folks like this Warren guy try to be all negative and sort of nasty toward NIO, especially when they don't seem to understand what the heck they're talking about. It screams insecurity and they're concerned,
right?
Because they see it as competition.
They feel threatened.
Yeah. And I've always kind of seen them as being in different spaces. And part of the reason is, as Eric is explaining, NIO legitimately cares about and has focused on the user. And so the recurring theme we're getting from him as a user is it's really easy. It's actually easier than what this dude's talking about.
Well, when it makes it easier when you're taking it from a guy who's literally done both. Like take it from someone who knows, kind of saying like,
yeah. But Warren is undefeated.
What does Warren know
in armchair quarterbacking? He might get his first L after this video.
Bad. It's bad for
Slot.
Warren.
Sometimes there's an empty slot. Most of the time there's an empty slot, but there are sometimes you have to wait in line. And I've seen plenty of people complaining in Los Angeles, especially, about waiting in line for Tesla chargers for a long, long, long time. I've also seen in China, Tesla superchargers, people waiting in line for a long, long, long time because there are a lot of EVs and a lot of Teslas on the road. So maybe in his experience, he lives in, I don't know, rural America or something, I'm not sure. But I know he says in the video that he traveled to Florida one time. So maybe the infrastructure is better, or there's fewer EVs out there, fewer Teslas. But in a country with a lot of EVs, like let's say China, battery swapping is just so much more convenient because it's all automatic. You're queued up automatically. You know when you
Kind of go on about your day.
It's just so much better than having
it's like doing the laundry a
rock
little
up to an
bit.
EV
Just let it
charger,
run.
fast charger, supercharger.
You still have to put the
And
clothes
you
in.
see 20 cars next to you, and you're like, oh, crap, now what do I do, right?
You lost me.
This line in my car. I don't know. His argument's fundamentally flawed here.
That much better of an experience. And Tesla will tell you, hey, this supercharger's busy, and they'll reroute you to a different supercharger. So Tesla's much more advanced on the software of getting you there, and maybe NIO will get there, but they're not there yet.
So I just want to re-record this part here. What I'm saying here is he says that Tesla is more advanced than NIO. They'll reroute you to a different charger, all this sort of stuff. From my experience, NIO is at least equal to Tesla, if not better in this capacity. You can, anytime you want, you can see how busy the charger is currently.
I was going to say, you have the app
in
and
the
just
past
go
week,
look.
in the past 24 hours as well. You can have the data of battery swaps. All that stuff is in your phone anytime you want it. And you can very easily reroute to different battery swap stations, all that stuff. So I don't know where he gets the idea that NIO can't do this. I would argue NIO is better in this regard, or at least equal.
Wow.
So he's lost the
Go for it, yeah.
Or he just hasn't looked into it, which is probably more concerning considering he's making a video and authority on the subject.
like 75 kilowatt hour packs. But what if you had 5 different battery pack sizes?
Okay, so what about if battery sizes are different? What if there's a 60 kilowatt hour, 80 kilowatt hour, blah, blah, blah. Okay, NIO right now they have 70, 75, 84, and 100 kilowatt hour packs in China. They all fit in the NIO. So
I was going to say, aren't they interchangeable?
It's not a big deal apparently for NIO engineers.
There's going to be moments when there's 5 people waiting, and that's going to be a nightmare. And there's going to be video. This is coming.
Okay, he said if 10 people are waiting, you're going to wait an hour. So if 10 people are waiting, you know what you can do? You can just go charge your battery like a normal.
I was going to say, you have,
yeah,
like,
why would you wait for?
You might as, if you have both, like I was thinking of a scenario, like say I'm driving a Tesla or whatever, and you don't have a choice. Like if you're going to be out of battery, like you don't have a choice.
Right.
Like you have to go to a station and you have to wait.
There is no option.
Like, yeah, but I mean, it's, if you have both, at least, you know, you can have an alternate of being like, okay, like obviously I can't drive anymore. Like I can either go to a swap station or I can just go to a regular old charging station and just take my time there. Like at least if you're in that like tight of a pin, like you don't, obviously you can't just drive your car without power.
Or, and that's the other thing that NIO service, you can push the button.
I was
One
gonna say
click,
they can,
NIO service, and they'll come to you.
Come to you.
No, who does that? NIO.
Right. And another point I was going to bring up is when he said about like he was talking about letting you know, like, if it's busy, the Tesla. I don't know if this is true because because obviously if you're not in your Tesla car, you have to go on Google Maps and look up a charging station.
Right. That's what you're
Does
saying.
Google Maps tell you if it's busy, or will it only tell you if it's busy if you're in your car?
Ooh, good one. I don't know.
Because like,
I don't know.
I've never done it, so that's just a genuine question. I was just thinking about if like Google Maps will tell you, oh, this charging station is busy, or if you have to be physically in your car and the Tesla will be like, hey, like busy.
Yeah,
I was
I
just
don't
wondering
know.
that.
Well, the other thing that Warren obviously
NIO has
doesn't.
the app, obviously. That will tell you.
Well, and they have, you can pull up the different options and that
Mhm.
sort of thing and where they are.
I guess on Tesla app, then would it tell you if it's busy or not? I thought he had mentioned that it doesn't say all those stats.
Yeah, I just know he
I
mentioned
don't want to say
having to go
anything
into
for
Google.
sure. I was just questioning.
Yeah, and I don't know either. I do know on the NIO side, he mentioned, well, there are all these, whatever waiting to go. But he also, again, doesn't understand or isn't aware of the fact that someone like my buddy Nick or another NIO user, if they're reverse swapping, they can actually help the line go faster.
Right.
And if the NIO swap station knows that someone is coming, then that could actually move the queue up faster and get everything going. I don't know how much that will come into play.
Right. I mean, it's just
still early with that.
But viable though, at least. Like, it's there.
They've provided a lot of options.
Provided a way.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, let's go, Eric. Finish her
for
off.
An hour to swap your battery if that was the case.
Finish him.
And if there are stations where there's 10 people lined up, I would assume that just like in China, in Norway or wherever, NIO will add more infrastructure because they're a really good company. They really have built a lot of infrastructure, not just swap stations, but also fast chargers and also destination chargers. I don't know. His logic breaks down after even thinking about anything for a split second.
Just think about it.
Working, you still got 7 working superchargers. You got one.
What if a swap station goes down? What are you gonna do? You just charge your car.
Just do it like you would in a Tesla.
He's running out.
Does he forget that you can't?
Okay, he says a whole bunch of problems.
Charge your car.
Position.
It's acting like it's only battery.
A whole bunch of problems that you can really think through just with any modicum of thought, like problem-solving skills, and you could figure out the solution to these problems. But he really obviously doesn't want to figure out the answer.
He had to realize.
Because based on just this one video, he really likes his Tesla, which is perfectly okay. I like Tesla too. I enjoy my mom's Tesla, it's good. You can watch my video. I was having a great time driving my cousin's Model S the other day. Teslas are great cars. I really enjoy Teslas. NIO also makes great cars. I guess for me, the real big issue I have with this video, again, I've never seen any of his other videos, but my impression of him is that he has a really tough time thinking outside his own little box. I live in, I don't know, rural Texas or wherever he said, and I have a lot of EV chargers available, superchargers available, and it's, I can charge at home.
Super easy.
And this is my experience, and so I don't think any other experience is necessarily valid because this is my experience.
Yeah. Right.
This is how I live. But there's a lot of people.
Not everyone lives like that.
Dense urban environments.
Yeah. I was gonna say here in the Midwest, you could get on a charger pretty easily.
There's a lot of people that are smart enough to just push a button and have the car back in and charge for them or swap the battery for them. To him, it's difficult and complex and scary. For a lot of people in this world, different things are challenging to them. They're afraid of something that's new. And that's just my impression of him, is he's afraid of looking outside his own box and understanding that other people exist. And maybe that's not the way I should look at it. Maybe I'm misunderstanding where he's coming from. But just based on this video, he's like, because it wouldn't necessarily work.
She looks grouchy.
It's stupid. And I think that's really a poor mindset to have.
Seems like he's going to get that first L.
I really love my NIO. I really
Eric's
love
about to finish him.
Mostly
Finish him off.
love battery swapping. But we're also well aware that we can also charge our car. We fast charge it.
Whole argument was
hold on.
And
the whole argument was
there's
based
only
off
one
of
way
the
to do
fact
it
that
is
you
the
can't just
Tesla way.
normally charge it.
And fine, whatever.
It's
If
literally
he-
the
if he
same
wants to
exact
do
thing,
that,
just
that's
another
up to
option.
him.
What do you mean?
But I don't think it makes him any sort of authority on NIO or battery swapping, or if it's stupid or not stupid, because he literally has no idea. So
Go ahead, fire away. You fire away on the last one, fire away on this one. I hope you actually watch the video before you comment.
okay, so one more thing right here at the end I just want to say.
We watched
He says
it.
people comment without watching the video, and I do agree that happens to me all the time. I don't have that many views, but a lot of times people obviously didn't watch the video, and that's a big problem everywhere.
It happens.
And, but I do think it's kind of funny in his video here, he says people comment without watching the video, but he's obviously making a video without understanding NIO.
Without
so there's not much
no
difference
personal
there,
experience.
really. So anyway, if you watch this whole
critical,
video, if you're a fan of his, tell me where I'm wrong, tell me I'm an idiot, you know, let me know what my problem is. I'm a moron. So I fully embrace that and accept that. At least I can understand.
Hold on.
Push a button and that the car back.
We got to give him a like. We didn't do that yet.
Yeah.
Let's give him a like. And then when he's done, we need to scour the comments on his video. I don't care about Warren's video. We're not going to watch. We've seen enough.
So I kind of wanted to go see the comments and
you want to
see.
see
I wanted to see what if like people from NIO were like.
Going
I just
off
want
or
to see. I
correcting
mean,
him or
people.
anything?
I kind of like. Obviously, there's going to be some people who are like, yeah, like go you. But there's got to be a good chunk of people who are like.
All right, so
What?
let's do this then. We're just winging it, is what we're doing, folks. It's almost like a live stream.
It's gonna be such a long video.
It's all, you know what? It's fine.
It's all right.
Somebody will laugh and get a kick out of it, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I
they'll
voted
like
for
it.
Seth to keep his mustache. He's keeping it."
I am.
So we'll look at these comments as soon as Eric's done talking. We'll look at these comments, and then we'll go to Warren's video.
Sure.
All right.
Back in and swap the battery and not find it to be horribly complex. So that just makes me laugh, but it's complicated for him. So anyway, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, I guess you know, go have a Mountain Dew and
Eric, man.
take a walk.
Take a
Eric.
walk.
Like it and subscribe, whatever you want to do.
Heck yeah,
For
man.
me, I'm all support you in any of your dreams and endeavors and wishes, and I hope you're satisfied and happy and fulfilled with life. So
It's quite the
he's funny.
It's quite the exit there. Okay, so we're
All right, so
looking
we need
at
to pull up Warren.
these comments first.
So let's go now. When they're watching, let's see. Pull up the restream so we can see what they're seeing because they get the bottom cut off. I think I want to make sure. Okay,
So
we just need
it's-
to pull it a little
yeah,
more up if there's
if we're
something
gonna
we
read
see.
it. So they can't wait.
So
Okay, so
only
they can't see the very bottom one pretty
Okay.
much.
All right.
So we got good clearing up the issue. I've invested in NIO. Well said from an actual person who's experienced NIO's battery swamp.
Agreed.
I think he meant swap, but
I think so too.
swamp
We'll go with the
works.
swamp. We're rolling with it.
Thank you. Spot on for sure. Yeah.
So pretty positive. I don't
I'm
see
waiting
anybody
for
being
some King
critical.
Pop.
King Pop. He's a
King
legend.
Pop.
KP.
He's been alive.
What's
He's
up?
probably gonna, if he watches this long, he'll see a little shout
Yeah,
out.
he'll coach us.
This guy's good.
Yeah.
Is as a customer, would you be willing to have 5% less kilowatt in your battery for the same cost, but you get battery swap? 5% is nothing. King Pop's always got good points.
Boy. There's Roman. I see Roman down. Oh, they can't see him yet.
Yeah,
Wait
he's
for it.
coming. He's coming.
Wait
He
for
got
it.
7 likes. He must have said something good.
Man, you know he did.
Roman did.
That's
Keep
Roman.
pumping out
We
those.
know him.
Understand swapping. And Roman is somewhere in Europe, right?
No, Canada. He's in Canada.
Oh, Canada, eh?
Also known as Canada.
And you can do everything a Tesla can do plus swap. That's why I was waiting for someone to say you can do it all. Just
There are
might
options.
as well have the
It's a
other
crazy
option.
idea.
Key point is it can be swapped or fast charged. Thank you.
Boom.
Battery swapping makes sense. Great video. Is there anyone that's trying to like
No,
debunk Eric
I
here?
haven't seen anybody hating yet.
Oh wait, here we go. Zoltan.
Oh,
All right, right at the top here.
Zoltan,
Zoltan's
let's go.
battery swapping doesn't work when it's compared to charging. The upfront investment is huge, and the actual cost of a swap is a few times more than just charging. That's what Warren means by not working. In China, economics work in a different way. Battery swapping makes sense because there's no for them to build charging stations, and swapping is a good alternative up to a certain point. You need to replace too many failed packs. Oh, he went off.
Yeah, he's got more to say.
Or the fleet is too large and the infrastructure can't handle as many swaps as the fleet needs.
Were there any dollar amounts shared?
No.
Nope. And I know
Well,
why.
and also, you
Warren
can't-
probably still doesn't know.
You
that
can't.
There's a partnership in place that sort of handles the battery asset. company.
Yeah, and
Not just
costs
NIO?
and stuff. Also says he's trying to infer, I guess, what Warren means by not working, but you can't just.
It's a slippery slope.
Can't just-
trying to infer blindly what someone else is saying.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that video was obviously not the most accurate thing ever put on the internet.
I think, Eric summarized it well. And the vision I had was Warren like this, being like, I don't see. I don't. I see what's right here, like kind of thing.
Yeah. And I do remember watching a video on. It was at the time. It was Tesla's like financial, like chief of financials, whatever. And they were talking, like they had an interview, and they were just kind of asking why they didn't think about doing the battery swap. And I'm pretty sure the response was simply just because of the PL ratio in the company. I mean, that might be true for them, but if you're gonna bring up why it's wrong, at least bring up like business wise why it's wrong, not logistically why it doesn't work. You know?
I don't know.
Maybe just, a little both. Should we go to
Are we ready?
Should we?
Are we ready?
Seems that everyone is agreeing except for Mr. Zoltan. All right, let's do it. So how do we get to this video?
Can we type in Warren? Let's type in Warren Redlich. Warren Redlich. Oh, there he is. Look, his name popped right
Warren
up.
Redlich,
He's famous-ish.
Tesla.
Is he?
66.
He's got some subs. Way bigger
Lucid
than my channel.
Rivian.
Let's go, Warren.
So I'll click
Getting
on
those
Hey,
this.
this is Warren.
Whoa,
Redlich. There
you
he goes.
stop it. Sorry.
The
Battery swap's still stupid, this one?
Yeah, it's got to be it. It's got to be it.
Okay.
One day ago, wow.
Hey, this is Warren
No.
Redlich.
Hi, Warren. Wait, he's
Oh, he did
cranking
have
out videos,
glasses
though.
on. Is he?
He did. That's why.
Oh.
Man.
Wait, so
Don't you
is...
feel bad now?
Yeah, I do. NIO cards can also be plugged in. So first comment, we got a guy saying the NIO cards can also be plugged in.
Wait, and did Warren take the time to respond or acknowledge? No, but 36 other people did. They all did this. Ooh.
And now they're all kind of backing up. So what happens when you sell the car? Does it mean the next owner is lumber and having to keep renting the battery?
Ask Eric. He sold it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but I feel like they wouldn't have to do that.
Well, the battery as a service is the option you get where you rent
say,
the battery.
That's
so
a
that it's
user.
not an
So
issue.
when you
So
sell
you
it,
haven't purchased the battery. So there's a separation between the battery swapping and the actual battery as a service. But you can charge, again, we're back to that. You can charge, you can swap, you have options, which Warren seemed to struggle with. Are we learning anything?
Someone said, assuming that the vehicle and battery are both properly designed, the battery very likely is going to become a power wall or be recycled after outlasting the car. Well, wouldn't it just swap back into the stations and be used on a different car?
It seems like there's a lot of speculation into the future of unknown things, and
they said the whole swap infrastructure just makes no sense to me, but perhaps I'm being too reasonable. If the battery outlasts the car, wouldn't they just use it for the next battery swap?
Haven't we seen Tesla cars where the
battery
is the problem?
Yeah.
And people get mad enough that they actually blow them up and stuff. Just, I don't know.
It's probably a couple videos.
Maybe we're being reasonable.
100K.
How dare we?
Oh, they're talking about battery degradation a little bit at 100K miles. Are we? Oh, yeah, we're still in replies. Yeah, I was like, okay, let me get out of there.
I just thought you're really going in. Oh, we got a Warren response. What did he say?
Hold on.
Oh, Eric nailed
Eric.
it. That's funny. Ooh, he got him.
Where is Warren? He says, is NIO profitable? That was his reply to, I will address the video and many channels put this way, given the NIO users to swap their batteries a lot of times since the began. A lot of cumulative deliveries, NIO users swap their batteries on average 50 times across ways in which the significance of this astonishing fact can be evaluated. And in the time you took to record your video, I swapped my battery.
Oh, got him.
4 times. More to come. So Eric actually replied and said nailed it. And then Warren said, is NIO profitable? Which is almost like a little kid way of like responding to, because he doesn't address what the person said.
He just and also that you maybe miss almost everything.
How long did it take for Tesla to become profitable? How long have they both been companies?
Well, again, we're back to remember my point when I was like, it sure feels like Warren's maybe insecure and nervous and worried and thinking this is a competitor. Yeah. And I just haven't looked at it that way.
Sometimes Tesla, just all they have to do is they just sell Bitcoin to claim profitability so that they can look good. Like, what do you mean? Sometimes they're not profitable.
Elon just has to tweet a little more.
Yeah.
To raise
just because you can sell X amount of Bitcoin and be profitable doesn't
What about
mean,
Doge?
you
Are they
know?
accepting Doge yet? That's what I want to know. Warren, can you? I'm just kidding, Warren. Please don't respond. won't watch
Someone's with
anyway.
it. There's no way this can be scalable. Considering there are only about 10 backup batteries.
13.
Is this
actually.
Alfredo from Twitter, maybe?
No,
Nah, it can't be. It would take decades to put one of these within 100 miles of each other all over the US. And yeah, I mean, for obviously he's talking about for rural areas.
Well,
and
again, there's
stuff
a very
like
different. We're away from the whole
Mhm.
options. There are options.
Yeah,
NIO's providing
right.
options and focusing on
And
the
obviously
user,
there's
and they are improving the battery swap stations. I believe the current one, the second generation, whatever, has 13 batteries.
yeah.
But again, they didn't even talk about, or rather, Eric didn't, and Warren probably didn't. We're not going to watch this video about how NIO users can do what my buddy Nick did, which was charge at home and then go put a full battery in. Like that's a
Right.
crazy concept and idea that I'm sure
Mhm.
Warren might find reprehensible because it's different.
Well, it probably takes a lot of work, to be honest.
Do you have to get out of the car?
Probably. Do you have to put it in reverse?
Drive to reverse?
But
We're not trying to be nasty.
no,
We just
but
can't
like,
help laughing a little bit.
as far as this comment goes, like, yes, obviously battery swap is more ideal in certain locations than other locations.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
yeah,
that's just the way it is. That's the way it is with pretty much any business model.
But it's also kind of why,
you know,
in China versus other areas, there's going to be a different approach. And there should be.
For sure.
That's business.
Yeah. There's so many moving parts. Swap station has maintenance issues. People are trying to charge. I mean, yeah, everything's going to have problems sometimes. But then again, you
Eric
can just
said he
go.
never had an issue, right?
Yeah.
And he can see if there's one down and there's another option.
Right.
So,
and if the swap station has maintenance issues, once again, we made the point a million times. You can also manually just plug it in or call someone.
Yeah.
They have good customer service. Just my 2 cents. I'm not sure if this already mentioned, but battery swap station can double as a power storage energy for the electric grid. Who is Ace Man? With the sleeper comment. Do you like it?
You like it. Like it.
Ace Man. Like it. Shout out.
Low key energy play.
Yeah. This is great for people that live in an apartment without their own charge station.
How dare you, Ben? How dare you? I like it.
So change the size of cars. Would they have to rejig all the swap stations? I'm sure they're not going to make any car that is bigger than the whole swap station.
Why would you want to do? I
don't think they're planning on making monster trucks anytime soon.
If so, let's see what those batteries look like.
That'd be a big old battery. Like that's like garages for a house. You don't have to rebuild your garage once you get a bigger car.
Well, they're working up to the 150 kilowatt hours, so maybe by then they'll have the 5K, the big boy. I don't know. We're just joking around at this point.
Tell me when to stop. We're just going. I'm just interested in what people.
And I'm always curious to get in comment section and see the response
for sure.
and
kind
of sentiment.
You want to keep going?
Yeah,
let's
go. Viewers, thank you. And by the way,
if you're still watching this thing, or if you just skip to the end, whatever, you should go watch a little bit of it. It's kind of funny, but that's obviously your prerogative. Guy Coco. Let's see. From the video, it appears the locations for the vehicle's wheels in the swap station were fixed. Does that mean that every NIO has to have the same wheelbase? So that is actually a good question. If they're fixed, I get what they're saying there.
Yeah.
The use of the same battery packs between various NIO models also indicates that they're all required. Yeah, the design of the battery, all the different batteries can fit, and that's just
correct.
That's just genius engineering.
Yeah,
that's not a flaw, I don't think.
But it's a good point how some folks, and that is
can view it different ways.
Yeah, that's the example of innovative disruptive is when some people are like, whoa, this is different, and therefore no, wrong, bad. And I guess it's sort of like the folks who go, oh, battery swapping is stupid. China already signed off on it. It's a done deal. None of our opinions on that matter. We can think they do, they don't. That's bottom line. And then will it work and be highly adopted in the US? I don't know. just like in Europe, we're still kind of watching that as things move forward. What was Warren's response there? I saw Warren. Warren was active in the comments. Let's go.
We can also always check. I mean, you can literally look up the dimensions of the vehicles.
Yeah, well, it'd be a lot more fun if we had the NIO app in the US. Come on, NIO.
Yeah, but I don't. Do you know if they're all made the exact same size? I feel like they wouldn't make them fixed. I feel like they're too smart for that.
I will try and remember to reach out and ask.
Well,
actually, we should just ask Eric. We should.
Yeah.
We'll go back. Not in this because we're already.
Yeah. We'll get
on the clock.
So Bo said it's beyond stupid. It's like instead of filling up the tank in your gas-powered car, you change the tank out for another one full of gas.
Is Bo one of the people who had his Tesla and was having to use a gas-powered generator to charge it because of what happened in Cali with the whole grid shutdown?
In 3 years of Model 3 ownership, the longest supercharger stop I had was 20 minutes. Then you must not have got very low on battery. I don't know.
And that's 3 times as long as battery swapping, right?
Yeah, I was going to say if it's
Eric was saying.
But I don't own a Tesla. But I mean, Eric obviously has been in a Tesla, and I've never heard of someone getting to full charge in 20 minutes. But
wait, it takes this guy 20 minutes to use the restroom and fill up his coffee?
About the time. One of the excellent sheets we have in North Carolina. Okay, and then Warren said, I've had longer stops. Well, yeah, because that was probably just cap. There's no way. Cross-country drives still have moments.
The main thing is they got some dialogue going.
Yeah.
I feel good for them.
Well, I'm trying to think about this. Instead of filling up the tank in your gas-powered car, change the tank out for another one. Yeah, that's literally what it is, except for it's just electric and you don't. What?
Maybe he wants to have the 20 minutes so he can have time to go to the bathroom and fill his coffee up. Maybe he's actually upset about the shorter time frame with swapping. Maybe that's where he's going. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. It's no worries.
I'm just reading. Battery tech will keep improving, and when we can charge 80% in 10 to 15 minutes, swap station basically outdated and all of that investment. Well, no, because they're gonna act like one utes quicker than 10 to 15 minutes. So how does that make it outdated if it's more efficient?
And per Eric,
I think that makes it
in 6 minutes.
Indated.
NIO can swap and you're at 93%. That's still better.
Yeah, and you can charge the 80% in 10 to 15 minutes, and you can't even do that yet. So, I mean, again, talking about when you can, and if we do want to talk about when we can do something, is NIO's technology just not going to get better? Are they just going to stay stagnant too? I mean, it just goes both ways, you know?
Yeah.
Like they're going to keep getting better. That got 24 likes.
Wow.
And 24 replies. Perfect.
Replies. Oh, we're getting into we're going in.
Yeah, so someone had something to say. Someone said,
oh, yeah.
Mark said it's a 10 to 15 minute to set up for the 6-minute swap.
What?
Has Mark done it? You think a guy named Mark Wick has been to China and
he's done it
drove
so many
a NIO
times in his mind?
I can't say that he hasn't because I don't know Mark Wick, but I'm going to say the odds are pretty low.
Looks like Rich has experience too. Rich is absolutely right. So.
Guy named
emptiness.
King Pop.
We got
King Pop.
Uh-oh.
He was in here. He's in here arguing. You know he's about to do it.
Here we go.
Okay, emptiness said no, it's not. It just isn't. The whole battery swap process with NIO's second gen swap is about 6 minutes in and out. Thank you. I don't even know what is that. That's like an acronym for something. Yeah. As battery tech improves, you will have batteries with 600-mile range. Battery swap gives you battery over 90% charge. That's over 120 miles less range if you were charging to 80%. It's just facts. We got
Random
Rocky.
Hair.
It's right, Rocky on
retriever. Super friendly dog.
Then emptiness and King Pop's King Pop. Boom. He's doing the same thing we were doing. Just going down here. I think battery is a way to go. It'll be a niche market until it is a niche market.
Clive, what's up, Clive? Oh wait, you got to scroll up so they can see it. Yeah, Clive's an early supporter from the channel. Let's go.
Have a choice. Let's go, Clive. Thank you.
He says there are options. Don't worry about it. This is wild.
Around their batteries, and won't be able to make. Oh, this one's. Hold on. One of the things I ran into a decade ago while I was selling phones was that cell phone batteries are slightly different. This allowed phone companies to build their cell phones around the batteries and not the phone around the battery. But what?
He's trying to compare when he
No,
sold
but he said the
phones
same thing.
to
He said this
NIO.
allowed phone companies to build their cell phones around the batteries and not the phone around the batteries. He should have said not the batteries around the phone. Little typo, but we won't hold that against him. We'll just keep going.
Give him a pass.
NIO's system forces them to build all their future cars around their batteries, and they won't be able to make any large design changes. Well, that's like saying they don't have any design changes now. They have SUVs and normal cars and supercars. And
do you think there's a little frustration like hiding behind for some of these folks who maybe some of these, like maybe this person is waiting for the Cybertruck and has been waiting for years?
Well, obviously this person's not an engineer. The engineers probably thought about that problem before.
I went random on that. Sorry. I went cyber. I
understand the engineers probably, one, thought about that, and two, that's just simply not true. I mean, they already have different.
You're wrong, Chalnos, or whatever your name is. Sorry. How do you get that?
A lot of wrong assumptions and facts are made. Obviously, yeah, people act like they're all engineers and like CEOs of giant companies. If you guys are all so smart, why don't you just go start a big old EV company? That's what they're going to say to me. Goes both ways. One battery for NIO roughly needs one additional battery for every 168 cars are sold, assuming it takes an hour to recharge a battery pack and 7 days for an average user to consume the battery power. As a rental model, they limit to 4 swaps a month with a subscription. Beyond that, users have to pay out of pocket. An overall good battery rental model due to need-based flexibility and battery size selection. And yes, people will continue to charge from an outlet if convenient. So this is actually an argument that makes like somewhat of logical sense, like this last couple sentences, but not even about the numbers. Warren says they have a 250 to 1 car to station. So there's millions and millions of battery swap stations, they said.
No.
They're talking about.
They've done millions of swaps.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
250 to 1 car.
But that's, again,
okay.
They're getting he's getting
13
hung up on
batteries per station, so it's roughly 1 battery.
Marginally relevant, and if you're going to say they're relevant, then you have to actually go into the details and break down things like the partnership.
Well, he says that's still not bad.
How that all, is structured and like it's
hard arguments to make.
Yeah, it's kind of like an exercise in futility, I feel like.
Battery swap with a trailer.
Kind of like reading the comments.
Yeah, I'm just.
It's hard to not zone out a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like a battery swap would only work in something like a scooter. You could build a small battery that you can just pull out with your hand and replace it with ease. That's like a remote control. Like
you already got that over in Asia too.
Well, that's like cool. That's like anything with.
Wait,
batteries.
Is that Buzzsaw Lightyear?
Buzzsaw Lightyear.
Like the guy from the. Is he?
Buzz?
No, not the one.
No.
Different. This is like his cousin.
Might be. Might be.
Sorry, I'm getting.
Well. There's literally just batteries that you can already take out with. That's like any controller ever. That's like any electronic ever. You can just take out with your hand and do it. If we're talking about that, there's already battery swap.
No. Look at George or Jorge. I'm not sure. I agree that the battery swaps are useless. Our Lucid, he bought a Lucid.
He said our Lucid added 70 miles range.
In 5 minutes. Wait,
And while charging, I'm assuming.
Got it. All right. We're okay.
And all we needed to continue our destination was 50 miles, and that was without preconditioning the battery. We didn't even get the max 350 kilowatt, usually because of the 560 mile range. We don't really ever have to stop, but we got 3 years for free. Might as well use it.
I wonder if they got recalled on there? No, it was a day ago. So hopefully they didn't get their car. Didn't a lot of the Lucid vehicles that were delivered get recalled?
I think so.
Yeah.
There's some
because I actually felt
chatter.
for him. I actually felt for him because I was like, oh, people are really dogging on him.
Yeah.
But Jorge, maybe not.
What is the point?
Or George.
Just the fact that regular charging works. We know that regular charging works. Like, that's not the argument.
What's the reply? Maybe the reply clarifies.
Nice flex.
Lucid. That's funny.
Yeah,
and
well,
maybe that was the point. Maybe that was the point. Was like, hey, Lucid, wow.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
that?
maybe. I don't
Okay.
know. I thought he was just trying to argue that like battery swap is useless just because regular charging works. Like we know
If it's a
regular.
Lucid, Lucid's the best.
Okay, I feel like battery swaps really limits future battery technologies. Maybe all batteries will work, but overall, bad idea. I mean, like I said, I'm sure the genius engineers that are like making all this technology have probably thought about this just because they're going to be a giant business. So they probably thought about the future a little bit. I mean,
well, and even
I don't know.
the comment that I still remember, the quote by Mr. EQ William Lee, co-founder of NIO, was in 2020. He said, "We finally closed the loop on upgradable, swappable battery technology. Upgradable is the first word
Right.
to describe it. It's not just swappable;
It's
it's
upgradable.
So they can continue to roll out.
So
new
you can
tech
upgrade
and
it with new tech.
That's kind of the point.
But that's if Kyle, like that is a logical argument. I mean, it does if he doesn't know, because obviously he doesn't know.
He doesn't. It's not.
Well,
not
he just
your
said,
fault,
"I
Kyle.
feel like," and that's okay to feel like. That's
emotions
not,
are.
I
We all
do.
have them
Yeah.
sometimes. I don't.
Shelby.
Most people do.
Most charging in US is done at home. I have friends here in Bay Area who've never been to a supercharger in 2 years. Yeah, I mean, if you're fortunate enough to be able to get one in your home, then yeah.
And again, that's where the market does make a difference.
Also, if you're fortunate enough to own a Tesla, you probably
aren't broke.
No, yeah, right. No power
unless you want.
So you're trapped in the car while the process happens. What if something goes wrong? Well, Eric already said you're not. What do you mean no power? No power in what? No power in your car?
I don't know.
And no, you're not trapped in your car.
I don't think
Eric said that you can get out of your car.
They didn't watch Eric's video though. That's why they're in this whole different lane.
It's a neat technology. Amazing that they engineered it to work. However, it seems dumb to produce all of the extra batteries and just have them sitting around in a swap station. Well, then it says there's only 5% more. Rough, whatever.
Yeah. It's almost more like a lot of people just want to say something to feel validated.
Will increase.
That's okay. That's cool.
Well, yeah. Well, once more people own EVs in general, and you don't have an alternate solution, and there's only one thing to do, then wait times will really increase. I mean, adding an option, adding alternatives usually just decreases time in my personal experience.
Like simple logic.
When people say, but you get a new battery and extend the life of the car. Tesla batteries don't degrade that much. Their batteries will outlast the car's typical use cycle. Well, yeah, the battery's upgradable, so you can.
I know, upgradable. See, that's a key word. It's important.
I just can't.
It's hard to watch and read some of them.
Positive comments from like 200K NIO owners.
KRA is another early follower, subscriber, supporter. That's funny.
To NIO with so much positivity. Yeah, NIO community is awesome. Just talking about, it's interesting to see all the NIO comments like in here.
Yeah.
It is weird. I didn't expect to see like Roman and King and stuff. It's like having a gas station with one pump. No, it's not. It's just like having, if one gas station's full, you have another one right next to it. Like what?
KRA,
I mean, without all the extra pumps, I guess. NIO can be plugged in just like any other freaking EV. That's right. You get
he said,
one more option for the NIO owner.
Get it together.
So obvious that this is it so obvious? Is one of the guys where putting your car in reverse is a big hassle too. Imagine swapping tablet or phone batteries when they're dead. How could this work long term? Well, that's why you have a charger too. But it's literally the same. You have both. It's, I don't know. Until you think about it for even a few seconds. I don't even want to read that.
Is this person serious? I'm selling NIO after this video.
Are they making to fun? Appease car owner, but I can't tell. Too bad for shareholder.
Are they making fun or not? I can't tell.
I think they're being serious. Why did you buy NIO in the first place? Did you not know? Like,
I feel like that's a tough question to ask them. I don't know.
I'm interested to see how well their investing portfolio is going. If they're selling after watching one YouTube video.
Do you think they're a big fan of Jim Cramer? Don't get Jim Cramer, folks.
Probably.
It's not good.
Just watch him every morning and then just face off that. They just go.
Inverse Jim Cramer.
Yeah.
Some
Tesla
people do
will
it.
figure out something to charge robo-taxis without human intervention. Perhaps a Tesla bot. Oh, God. Putting in the plug. What do you need someone to put in the car charger for you? You can get out of your car and put the charger in. What do you mean?
So you're getting to that point where Eric was, where I was just like, all right, Eric's ready to freak out.
So
on
better
this
to just
dude.
charge for 30 minutes, grab a burger, and continue your... Better to just charge for 6 minutes, grab a burger, and continue your journey. What do you mean?
Or swap in 6 minutes.
Human help at superchargers would be cheap. So he's saying
So
even
he's
the
like,
Tesla,
hey, if it's Tesla, it's going to be better.
Perhaps a
It's-
Tesla bot.
Oh.
Human help at superchargers. He was literally just bagging human help at
That's what
swap
that's what I'm
stations.
saying. If it's Tesla, it's better. It's different.
Wow.
That's Warren's message.
Debunked yourself, Warren.
Oh, Warren. Oh.
Battery swap is awesome. So how are people saying battery swap is awesome, but then they be relevant when there's recharging capabilities up the wazoo?
Oh, Jason, with the wazoo talk. Let's keep it moving.
There is already charging capabilities up the wazoo. There's chargers everywhere. It over-engineered. Those cars had better be fantastic is all I can say. I thought batteries were scarce. Also, charging is just getting faster and faster. Until it beats 6 minutes in one station, I don't want to hear a fastness argument ever. Literally.
Unless you like the 20-minute trip with the bathroom and the coffee.
Well,
Coffee
no
was it,
matter
or
who
burger?
you are,
I can't
how
remember.
old you are, what gender you are, wherever you are, time is time. 20 minutes is always going to be longer than 6 minutes. That's just fundamentals of the universe.
I feel like you went deep on that one.
I'm just
I don't know if
saying.
Warren's ready to hear that one.
NIO investor, Tesla investor, whatever. Indirectly, Warren is getting ad revenued from GM. John Miller is not having it. Jack, you great video, but Warren, you forgot to mention that NIO owner gets free lifetime battery swaps, which is insane. NIO is losing lots of money on free battery swaps in NIO houses and payroll for the staff. No wonder NIO can't make a profit.
Let's check I want to see the replies on this.
Early owners did, but not anymore.
I thought somebody would correct him.
New NIO owners have to pay something like $150 a month. Boom. Somebody said by the time a Tesla battery wears out, the car's body is worn out. The same with the NIO. You just wasted your money thinking you're getting advantage that does not exist. They're just going back and forth here. So I put NIO's quality significantly better than Tesla and have been around way less time, but who's counting?
I feel like they're not going to be besties at the end of the day.
From a customer perspective, it's good to have as an option. So what is the argument? But from an investor's perspective, not so much, although the subscription fee might end up being a really good.
So it's unknown,
so
which means you're presuming.
they're saying it's not so much, although it might end up being really good. And then they said from a customer perspective, it's good, but from an investor's perspective, it's not. And then they just go and just. People were not on the debate team in high school. I'll just tell you that much.
Or they lost.
Does it offset the cost to build, maintain, and staff the stations? And on top of that, I'm sure they've thought of it. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and run numbers right now, but just silly. Just too many parts. What's the parts? Best part is no part. You can see all the station gear breaking frequently. I mean, I haven't really heard too much about that. And
Eric said he didn't have an it. I mean,
he's there for how long?
I think he owned one for about a year, I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla charger stations sometimes broke. I mean, everything with technology sometimes is going to break.
But it's okay if it's Tesla.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's sort of the theme here.
Your phones get slow. Like, it's technology. Can't be perfect forever. Too many parts. I mean, he literally talked about in the video how many parts it is. It's the same amount of parts.
Wait,
I mean,
what's this? Keep going.
Alan?
No, that one. Warren.
Did you consider NIO gives you the option of quickly replacing your car's battery pack? You can still, I don't think he did consider it when he made half of those.
Oh, wait, but he responded. Did he respond to this? Hold on.
The purpose of the battery swap is to charge quickly. NIO's idea is bad from capital allocation. Objective in a battery. I just want to finish it. Oh, gosh.
Battery constrained world. Okay, so limiting factors that we don't know.
Warren just said, I don't think that's the idea.
Well, there that is. Oh, King Pop.
King Pop. In a battery constrained world, it would make a battery swap more sense because it requires less kilowatts of batteries in total. It requires more kilowatts. So here goes
Here
Pop.
we go.
Nope.
King Pop's about to
Nope.
coach you up,
I
Warren.
said nope. It requires less kilowatt batteries because most people would not opt for a modest size battery to save on money because they don't need the large size daily, since they can swap to the large long range battery on a monthly basis when they want on demand. Whereas other EVs, people opt out for bigger batteries because they can't swap it out, and that's just the one they have to stick with.
Or we could just say
NIO cars
NIO
have a
provides
larger
options. They've got options.
While that is true, you don't know the average battery size purchased, just the smallest available, but I'll still concede for now at this moment it may seem quite likely the average of all Teslas is probably less than 75. King Pop gave him the dubs. Though in the future, it is quite likely NIO and their two other brands combined will average as low, if not lower. We would just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Again, bunch of future talk.
Yeah, lots of speculation.
It's good to see him
going,
having a good argument, though. And it's completely optional. You don't have to swap batteries every time. You can if you want, if you're going on a big trip, whatever. NIO charges at home, just like Tesla. It's charging up to 180 kilowatt pack. And the 250 NIO packs with worn cells are rotated out for repair. How much is a 10-year-old battery, Tesla battery worth? Swap station act like powerless walls when the grid needs some grid talk.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Ooh, going in.
Clicked on a book.
It's like one of my emails.
Yeah.
No, they're longer. I'm kidding.
Swap stations act like power walls in time when the grid needs help. Car can use a small pack for your city drive and swap to a larger one, as was said. Your video makes it sound like it's a challenge. It did very much. Do you want to get out of your car in the car wash? They take just as long. Batteries as service, whole other topic with partnerships with Shell. It is kind of like a car wash now that you think about it. Like a little one lane kind of deal. I work at a car wash, guys. Believe me, a lot of people will wait for them.
Huh.
Yeah. This take long. Tesla is great and has amazing infrastructure, but this swap is an awesome added benefit to car ownership. I was cringing
right there
watching this video.
That's good. Well, and then he goes, even Scotty Kilmer sees NIOs for what they are. Check his video for a great explanation. Scotty Kilmer, for those who don't know, I think he's got 5 million subs, and he did a video talking about what he sees coming from NIO. I'll be excited when he actually gets his hands on a NIO, kind of like Sandy Monroe did.
Sure.
And see what he says. But
yeah.
Should we wrap it? I feel like you're getting worn out on these comments. It's tough around here.
Well, it's just some of them I'm like, okay, that's like a logical, valid argument, and you made your point.
Well,
and then some of them it's just like, why are you commenting?
Well, it's wild because
it's like that for any post, not just saying just for this, but people just tend to do that.
Well, it's interesting, especially looking at that comment section on Warren's. You notice how many people had completely different ideas and explanations, and then you'd get like 10 likes on this one and 12 likes on this, and so there was support both ways. But I guess, and I like the way the one guy said it. He's kind of like, Tesla's done a great thing, and NIO provides more options. So you don't have to hate. People are just kind of
on it.
And that's why I feel like it's an insecurity thing.
Well, you can like think some of them. You can think like, I guess whatever you want, but to sit here and say that the idea is just dumb is just, I think, a dumb thing to say.
Especially with no personal firsthand experience.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And obviously in China, like it's working to some degree, or they probably wouldn't keep it or would find some other model, right? So
yeah. And it has been signed off on in policy by the government, and NIO has over 1,100 battery swap stations in China now. And so that's.
And yeah, I mean, you can say maybe it won't work as well here, but at the end of the day, it's not here, it's in China. And we're talking about how well it's working right now for NIO.
Yeah. And it does provide options.
Yeah.
Alternatives, you can't dispute that.
Alternatives usually just aren't like a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's always good to have alternatives.
It's yeah.
Well, I can just think of more scenarios where I'm driving a Tesla and running out of battery would be more of a problem than if I'm driving a NIO. Like,
worst case scenario, you call NIO service and they come help you out.
Right.
I don't know that Tesla has anything like that. And again, I don't like doing the comparison.
You have to call the tow company.
I don't think that comparisons are necessary.
Yeah. I mean, and how many they said how many swap stations around China? Like
1,100 now. 1,100 now.
Not bad.
Yeah, and NIO, interestingly enough, has somehow done this, put up that infrastructure without tapping into the 8 billion plus that they're holding on the balance sheet. Somebody told me the other day in a video, they commented on a video and said Tesla has 3 billion. That's kind of an interesting fact that NIO has
On the
maintained that.
balance.
Yeah, while they were continuing to expand.
Well, like I said, as far as profitability go and stuff, like arguing profitability against Tesla is just a bad argument.
It's
early. It's an unfair argument to make. One.
Yeah. Well, and again, I'm sort of like different lanes, different scenario, different. The battery swapping, when Tesla looked into it, and we don't know what their market research was, if they really went deep on it or not. And it was a different time. They had a whole different scenario to overcome just to be the early mover. And so, again, it might have made the most sense doing things the way they did. I don't know. And I'm not second guessing that.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I just think that NIO overall is a smart company. I think they have very smart people working for them. And I'm sure that they have probably drawn up and thought of every single problem that was stated in the comments and tenfolds of more. I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't just go about making all these batteries and stuff without, at least thinking about it and taking every single alternative and, checking it off, just doesn't seem like something they would do.
Well, and especially who knows? The recurring theme from the users is how happy they are.
Right.
Like that's a big checking the box.
I think the phone app and obviously Tesla has a phone app, but the whole points and stuff, and then how you can check all those stats too. I don't know. I don't have the Tesla app. Maybe you can check how busy one of the plugins are or whatever, but I don't know because there's 8 of them and or however many of them together in one group. So I don't know if it just says it for one or if it just says it for an average of all of them, how busy they are.
And again, it's different based on where you are.
Yeah. Right.
So markets vary.
But there's my 2 cents, NIO fans.
Well, this was cool. We did not.
No.
Holy long video.
It's about to be as long as our live stream.
I know. Longer than some, I think.
A lot of NIO talk today, dude. I might be NIO'd out.
Well, this is a Friday night for those who don't know.
Yeah.
And typically this is what I would be doing. And so I was glad to have the opportunity to do one of these videos, a team collab with my buddy Seth.
For sure.
And the Seth stash, the super stash.
Let's go.
The super mustache that is Seth's.
It is mine.
Hey, folks, like the video. If you stuck around this long, because you're awesome, just to stick around this long.
Awesome.
I'm really impressed with that. So
this is going to take a while to upload.
Oh, man. All right. But we're going to try and drop this Saturday morning.
Cool.
And then I won't have to do any content for a minute. And maybe I'll take off.
If you're just skipping to the end, just go to where. I guess all of it was pretty good. I mean, I thought all of it was pretty entertaining. But
you know what? One final point. I forgot to make it earlier. I didn't want to do a response to Warren's video because when I heard, I was initially going to, but I didn't want to as soon as I heard that Eric had done one because Eric owned a NIO. He's been there. He has experienced it. And so I'm like, cool, let me support him and get his take.
Experience matters.
Firsthand experience.
For sure. It's definitely probably the number one most important thing when, you're trying to argue between 2 things is someone that's literally done them both. I mean, obviously opinion is opinion. Think what you want, but the facts are the facts.
Yeah. And that's part of the research. I want to learn. When I'm watching something, I want to learn. And so I appreciate it. Eric, shout out and thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you subbed to him yet?
I probably have. I think so. If not,
check that out.
I will.
We'll get on it.
You'll be seeing me.
All right. Thanks, y'all. And we'll see y'all again real soon.
Thank you.